What is going on, everyone? It's your boy B, Skeletor BSK, coming at you from the Style of Gaming. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening released a little over a week ago, and it raises many questions. What additional content came with this re-release? Is the content worth $60? Whatever reason you're here, this is Should You Buy in 5, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening was such a surprise announcement at last year's E3 and touted as a one-to-one remake. Fans were curious to see if the top-down treatment fared with this classic title, and I'm incredibly happy to confirm this experience delivers. After enduring a violent ocean storm, Link awakens.
He said it. The name of the game. Huh.
In the house of Marin and Terran in the small village of Maybe, Link discovers he cascaded to the small island of Koholint. Having no recollection of his voyage, Terran gives Link his iconic Hylian shield and he embarks to the beach where Marin found him. Upon discovering his sword, he is visited by a mysterious owl who speaks of the growing darkness. He deduces Link's appearance seems to correlate to the recent abundance of monsters. Speaking grandiosely, the owl reveals the existence of the great windfish who resides at the peak of the island's mountain range, dormant in a Yoshi-style egg. The windfish has been put to sleep by the dark forces of the island, and the only way for Link to leave Koholint is to revitalize the windfish by playing the 8 instruments of magic origin in front of the egg. In classic Legend of Zelda fashion, these instruments are bound by 8 complex dungeons and puzzles suited with boss fights galore for your enjoyment. Gameplay is the bread and butter of Link's Awakening and deeply picks up for the lack of sequential and impactful narrative. Link's Awakening was a game that sold me for mechanics on the Game Boy, and this remake is a masterclass in demonstrating technical prowess and capability between a 25-year span. There is a robust level of activity in a very small package of Link's Awakening, but depending on your knack for self-direction and problem solving, this game might just kick your ass. Link's Awakening has very little directional assistance. Typically, the area of the map you need to go to, had you already discovered it, will be gently highlighted showing you the general area you need to be at, but ultimately you're on your own to discover the path. Thankful for us in 2019, there's the internet to aid your search, but as a hard-headed completionist who has actually beaten the game before, I got lost numerous times. Navigation aside, combat is seamless and the amount of skills and abilities you can use are awesome and feel better than ever. I wish we could have seen some D-pad support for pro controllers, or a way to switch out more abilities in the X and Y position, but again, one for one, better or for worse. Some mechanics have remained as wonky as ever, and nonsensical hit detection will get you flustered, but combat was never my issue. It was just finding where to go. The dungeons will provide a rich bed of exploration and challenge if you're not switch and button puzzle oriented, but because of the lack of direction and reliance on personal exploration, there are many secrets to be had and some that are painfully difficult to find. My same conflict goes with this iteration as the classic.
The boss fights are lame.
The bosses hardly reveal any information about the story, and beating them sometimes is as easy as standing still and spamming attack. I highly recommend the heroic difficulty if challenge is what you seek. The new dungeon building mode allows you to take previously unlocked dungeon chambers to combine them and develop new and unique dungeons with your own flair. This option is nice in theory, but the implementation is just boring and it feels forced. I built a dungeon in the 101 class given in-game and never came back, and I don't feel like I missed anything. But this is a perfect segue to the visual and audio. The level of depth in Link's Awakening for Switch is immaculate from the background imagery, animations, textures, particles, the works. From beach sand to dungeon walls and rocks, the varying textures and maps looked splendid and oftentimes looked more detailed than Link and provide a level of depth not typically seen in top-down directional-based games. I advised friends to stop and take in the scenery as trees, foliage, and other objects in the environment were animated, and moving Link too quickly through the environment can make you gloss over these awesome details. The frame rate sometimes got really bad, but never in a way that it hindered my play. Luckily, boss arenas and combat scenarios typically were static environments, but you'll see it when you transition areas mostly. Otherwise, the environmental presentation is stellar, and the models of all NPCs and enemies maintained a classic aesthetic while also popping forward in a unique way. But the take-home for me in Zelda games is always the music, and this remake did not disappoint. One of my favorite things is the fact that rather than maintaining the single track for dungeons, each of the 8 major dungeons had a remix of the original dungeon track. The sound profiles and game sounds were phenomenally delightful, from discovering secrets to the unique songs from your ocarina and even the main instruments themselves. I cannot say enough good things about the audio. Listen in and enjoy. All in all, Link's Awakening is so good at being a remake it sometimes brought forward some of the wonky stuff that made it frustrating. On the same note, however, made this a nostalgia trip I'm thrilled I went on. This game is a testament to classic gaming and the ways we can bring forward our childhood while preserving the quality that made us fall in love in the first place. The music and visuals are a testament to the creative power available to modern devs, but preserves the foundation of a truly timeless and technically proficient title. One of my biggest complaint points just lands on the $60 price tag. Being a remake of a Game Boy game, the amount of time to invest is limited. I had a completion playthrough in about 12 hours while also completing additional secret objectives like the Color Dungeon. I personally think if you didn't love this game when you were young, the facelift won't be enough to wow you now. The grossly obvious plot twist is paper thin, but the gameplay will always speak for itself. I'd say wait unless you're a die-hard fan, but rest assured, you're going to love it if you dive in at any price point if you love The Legend of Zelda.